Zechariah 1. In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, the word of Hashem came to Zechariah, son of Berechiah, son of Iddo, the prophet, saying, Hashem became wrathful with your forefathers. Wrath. Say to the people, Thus said Hashem, Master of legions, Return unto me, the word of Hashem, Master of legions, and I will return unto you, said Hashem, Master of legions. Do not be like your fathers, to whom the prophets of old called out, saying, Thus said Hashem, Master of legions, Return now from your evil ways and from your evil deeds. But they did not listen nor pay attention to me, the word of Hashem. Your forefathers, where are they? And as for the prophets, could they live forever? However, my words and my decrees, which I commanded my servants the prophets, did they not befall your fathers? They repented and said, Just as Hashem, Master of legions, thought to do to us, according to our ways and deeds, so did he with us. On the 24th day of the 11th month, which is the month of Shavat, in the 2nd year of Darius, the word of Hashem came to Zechariah, son of Berechiah, son of Iddo, the prophet, saying, I saw a vision in the night. There was a man riding upon a red horse, and he was standing among the myrtle bushes that were in a pool of water. Behind him were horses, red, sorrel, and white. I said, What are these, my lord? The angel who was speaking to me said to me, I will show you what these are. And the man who was standing among the myrtles spoke up and said, These are the ones whom Hashem has sent to travel about the earth. Then they spoke up to the angel of Hashem who was standing among the myrtles and said, We have traveled about the earth, and behold, all the earth sits still and is at rest. The angel of Hashem then spoke up and said, Hashem, Master of legions, until when will you not have mercy upon Jerusalem and upon the cities of Judah, which you have spurned for these 70 years? Hashem then answered favorable things to the angel who was speaking to me, words of comfort. The angel who was speaking to me then said to me, Call out, saying, Thus said Hashem, Master of legions, I have become zealous for Jerusalem and for Zion, a great zeal. And I am wrathful, a great wrath against the complacent nations, who, when I became slightly wrathful, augmented the evil. Therefore, thus said Hashem, I have returned to Jerusalem in mercy. My temple will be rebuilt in it, the word of Hashem, Master of legions, and a plumb line will be stretched out over Jerusalem. Call out again, saying, Thus said Hashem, Master of legions, my cities will once again spread out with bounty. Hashem will have mercy on Zion once again, and he will choose Jerusalem once again. Zechariah 2. Then I lifted my eyes and looked, and behold, 4 horns. I said to the angel who was speaking to me, What are these? And he said to me, These are the horns that disperse Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Hashem then showed me 4 carpenters. I asked, What are they coming to do? And he spoke, saying, These horns that disperse Judah, humiliating them, until no man could raise his head. So these carpenters have come to terrify them, to cast down the horns of the nations who raise a horn against the populace of the land of Judah, to disperse it. Then I raised my eyes and looked, and behold, there was a man, and in his hand was a measuring line. I asked, Where are you going? And he answered me, To measure Jerusalem, to see how wide its breadth and how long its length. Just then the angel who was speaking to me was going forth, and another angel was going forth toward him. He said to him, Run, speak to that young man over there, saying, Jerusalem will be settled beyond its walls, because of the multitude of people and livestock within it. And I will be for it, the word of Hashem, a wall of fire all around, and for glory will I be in its midst. Woe, woe, flee from the land of the north, the word of Hashem, for I have scattered you like the 4 directions of the heavens, word of Hashem. Woe, O exiles of Zion! Escape, O you who dwell with the daughter of Babylonia! For thus said Hashem, Master of legions, after glory, he will send me to the nations who despoil you. For whoever touches you touches the pupil of his own eye. For behold, I am waving my hand against them, and they will become spoils to those who had served them. Then you will know that Hashem, master of legions, has sent me. Sing and be glad, O daughter of Zion, for behold, I am coming, and I will dwell in your midst. The word of Hashem. Many nations will join themselves to Hashem on that day, and they will become a people unto me, and I will dwell in your midst. Then you will know that Hashem, master of legions, has sent me to you. Hashem will take Judah as his heritage, his portion upon the Holy Land, and he will choose Jerusalem again. Be silent, all flesh, before Hashem, for he is aroused from his holy abode. Zechariah 3. Then he showed me Joshua, the Kohen Gadol, standing before the angel of Hashem, and the Satan was standing on his right to accuse him. The angel of Hashem said to the Satan, May Hashem denounce you, O Satan. May Hashem, who chooses Jerusalem, denounce you. Indeed, this man is like a firebrand, saved from a fire. But Joshua was dressed in filthy garments as he stood before the angel. The angel spoke up and spoke to those standing before him, saying, Remove the filthy garments from upon him. Then he said to Joshua, See, I have removed your iniquity from upon you, and dressed you in clean attire. Then I said, Let them put a pure turban on his head. So they put a pure turban on his head, and they dressed him in clean garments, while the angel of Hashem remained standing. The angel of Hashem then warned Joshua, saying, Thus said Hashem, master of legions, If you go in my ways, and if you will safeguard my watch, and you will also administer my temple, and you will also guard my courtyards, then I will grant you strides among these angels who stand here. Listen now, O Joshua, the Kohen Gadol, you and your companions who are sitting before you, for they are men worthy of a miracle. For behold, I am bringing my servant Sema, the flourishing one. For behold, the foundation stone that I have placed before Joshua, 7 eyes toward one stone. Behold, I am engraving its adornment, the word of Hashem, master of legions, and I will remove the iniquity of that land on one day. On that day, the word of Hashem, master of legions, each man will invite his fellow beneath the vine and beneath the fig tree. Zechariah 4. Then the angel who was speaking with me returned and woke me, as a man is awakened from his sleep. He said to me, What do you see? I said, I see and behold, there is a menorah made entirely of gold with its bowl on top. Its 7 lamps are upon it, and there are 7 ducts for each of the lamps on its top. There are 2 olive trees over it, one at the right of the bowl and one on its left. I spoke up and said to the angel who was speaking to me, saying, What are these, my lord? The angel who was speaking to me answered and said to me, Do you not know what these are? And I said, No, my lord. He spoke up and said to me, saying, This is the word of Hashem to Zerubbabel, saying, Not through army, and not through strength, but through my spirit, said Hashem, master of legions. Who are you, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, you will become a plain. He will bring out the cornerstone with cheers of grace for it. The word of Hashem then came to me, saying, The hands of Zerubbabel laid the foundations of this temple, and his hands will complete it. Then you will know that Hashem, master of legions, has sent me to you. For who is scornful on the day of small things? They will rejoice when they see the stone of the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel, building 7 times as much. The eyes of Hashem, they scan the whole world. I then spoke up and said to him, What are these 2 olive trees on the right of the menorah and on its left? I spoke up a second time and said to him, What are the 2 clusters of olives that are next to the 2 golden presses, which are pouring golden oil from themselves? He spoke to me, saying, Do you not know what these are? And I said, No, my lord. He said, These are the 2 anointed men who are standing before the Lord of all the land. Zechariah 5. Once again I raised my eyes and looked, and behold, a scroll was flying. He said to me, "What do you see?" I answered, "I see a flying scroll, 20 cubits its length and 10 cubits its width." He said to me, "This is the curse that is going out over the surface of the whole land. For heretofore anyone who steals has been absolved of such a curse, and everyone who swears falsely has been absolved of such a curse. For I have taken it out, the word of Hashem, master of legions, and it shall enter the house of the thief and the house of the one who swears falsely in my name. And it shall lodge within his house and annihilate him, with its wood and stones." Then the angel who was speaking to me went forth and said to me, "Raise your eyes and see what this emerging thing is." I said, "What is it?" And he said, "This is an ephah that is emerging." And he said, "This, because their greedy eyes are all in the land." Then behold, a block of lead was being lifted, and this one woman was sitting inside the ephah. And he said, "This woman is wickedness." And he threw her into the ephah and threw the lead weight into her mouth. Then I raised my eyes and looked, and behold, 2 women were emerging with wind in their wings, for they had wings like a stork's wings. And they lifted the ephah between the earth and the heavens. I said to the angel who was speaking to me, "Where are they taking the ephah?" He said to me, "To build her a house in the land of Shinar. It will be established, and she will be set down there on her base." Zechariah 6. Once again I raised up my eyes and saw, and behold, 4 chariots were emerging from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of copper. In the first chariot there were red horses. In the second chariot there were black horses. In the third chariot there were white horses. And in the fourth chariot there were spotted and gray horses. I spoke up and said to the angel who was speaking to me, "What are these, my Lord?" The angel answered and said to me, "These are going out to the 4 directions of the heavens, from standing before the Lord of all the earth. The chariot, within which are the black horses, they are going forth to the land of the north, and the white ones went forth after them. The spotted ones went forth to the land of the south. The gray ones went forth and asked to go, to travel through the world." He said, "Go, travel through the world." So they traveled through the world. He then summoned me, and he spoke to me, saying, "See, the ones going out to the land of the north have allayed my anger in the land of the north." The word of Hashem came to me, saying, "Take from the exiles, from Heldai, from Tobijah, and from Jediah. Come on that day, come to the household of Josiah, son of Zephaniah, who have come from Babylonia, and take silver and gold and make crowns, and place one of them on the head of Joshua, son of Jehozadak, the Cohen Gadol. Say to him, Thus said Hashem, master of legions, Behold, there is a man, his name is Sema, and he will flourish in his place. He will build the sanctuary of Hashem. He will bear majesty, and he will sit and rule upon his throne. The Cohen will be upon his own throne, and there will be a disposition of peace between the 2 of them. The crowns will be a remembrance for Helem, for Tobijah, for Jediah, and for Hen, son of Zephaniah, in the sanctuary of Hashem. People from far away will come and build the sanctuary of Hashem. And then you will know that Hashem, master of legions, has sent me to you. This will happen if you truly listen to the voice of Hashem, your God. Zechariah 7. It happened in the 4th year of King Darius that the word of Hashem came to Zechariah on the 4th day of the 9th month in Kislev. Sarazar, as well as Rejem Melech and his associates, had sent a message to Bethel to beseech Hashem and to speak their question to the Kohanim of the temple of Hashem, master of legions, and to the prophets, saying, Should I weep in the 5th month, abstaining from pleasures, as I have been doing for many years? So the word of Hashem, master of legions, came to me, saying, Speak to all the people of the land and the Kohanim, saying, When you fasted and mourned in the 5th month and in the 7th for these 70 years, was the fasting that you fasted for my honor? Was it for me? And when you eat and when you drink, Is it not you who are the eaters, and you who are the drinkers? Behold, consider the prophecies that Hashem pronounced through the earliest prophets, when Jerusalem and its surrounding cities were settled and peaceful, and the south and the lowlands were settled. The word of Hashem came to Zechariah, saying, Thus spoke Hashem, master of legions, saying, Judge with truthful justice, and perform kindness and mercy toward one another. Do not oppress the widow and the orphan, the stranger and the poor, and do not think in your hearts of wronging one another. But they refused to heed, and they turned a rebellious shoulder. They made their ears hard of hearing. They made their hearts like hard iron, rather than hear the teaching and the words that Hashem, master of legions, had sent by his Spirit through the earliest prophets. And there was a great rage from Hashem, master of legions. And it happened that just as he had called, but they did not listen, so will they call out, and I will not listen, said Hashem, master of legions. And I will cause them to be storm-tossed among all the nations that they did not know. After that, the land became deserted from any who come and go. They made an exquisite land into a desolation. Zechariah 8. The word of Hashem, master of legions, came to me, saying, Thus said Hashem, master of legions, I have become zealous with great zeal on behalf of Zion. I have become zealous with great wrath on her behalf. Thus said Hashem, I have returned to Zion, and I have made my dwelling in the midst of Jerusalem. Jerusalem will be called the city of truth, and the mountain of Hashem, master of legions, the holy mountain. Thus said Hashem, master of legions, old men and old women will once again sit in the streets of Jerusalem, each with his staff in his hand because of advanced age. And the streets of the city will be filled with boys and girls playing in its streets. Thus said Hashem, master of legions, just as it will be wondrous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in those days, so will it be wondrous in my eyes, the word of Hashem, master of legions. Thus said Hashem, master of legions, Behold, I am saving my people from the land of the east and from the land where the sun sets, and I will bring them, and they will dwell within Jerusalem. They will be a people unto me, and I will be a God unto them, in truth and in righteousness. Thus said Hashem, master of legions, Let your hands be strong, you who hear these days these words from the mouths of the prophets, which were spoken on the day that the foundation was laid for the temple of Hashem, master of legions, the sanctuary, to be built. For before those days, people had no earnings, nor were there earnings from animals. Those who traveled back and forth had no peace because of the enemy. And I set everyone, man against his neighbor. But now, not as in earlier days, am I toward the remnant of this people. The word of Hashem, master of legions. For now the seed is of peace. The vine gives forth its fruit. The land gives forth its produce, and the heavens give forth their dew. I have bestowed all these upon the remnant of this people. And it shall be that just as you had been a curse for the nations, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and will be a blessing. Do not fear, and let your hands be strong. For thus said Hashem, master of legions, just as I had planned to bring misfortune upon you when your forefathers angered me, said Hashem, master of legions, and I did not relent from doing so. So have I turned back these days and planned to benefit Jerusalem and the house of Judah. Do not fear. These are the things that you should do. Speak the truth with one another, and in your gates judge with truth, justice, and peace. Do not think evil toward one another in your hearts, and do not love false oaths, for these are what I hate. The word of Hashem. The word of Hashem, master of legions, came to me, saying, Thus said Hashem, master of legions, the fast of the 4th month, the fast of the 5th, the fast of the 7th, and the fast of the 10th will be to the house of Judah for joy, and for gladness, and for happy festivals. Only love truth and peace. Thus said Hashem, master of legions, It will yet be that peoples will come, as well as inhabitants of many cities. The dwellers of one city will go to those of the other, saying, "Let us go and supplicate before Hashem, and seek out Hashem, master of legions." They will answer, "I too will go." Many peoples and mighty nations will come to seek out Hashem, master of legions, in Jerusalem, and to supplicate before Hashem. Thus said Hashem, master of legions, "In those days it will happen that 10 men of all the different languages of the nations will take hold. They will take hold of the corner of the garment of a Jewish man, saying, 'Let us go with you, for we have heard that God is with you.'" Well, hello and welcome back. That was half of the book of Zechariah. Now, Zechariah and Haggai, these guys are contemporaries, and they prophesied over the same point, independent of each other. Both are writing to Joshua and to Zerubbabel, and they are telling them, hey, this is going to happen. You guys can do it. You can do it. Zechariah opens this book with a reminder of how every single thing that was written in the book of Moses has actually come to pass. Zechariah has this vision, a man riding on a horse. This exchange reveals that God has a desire to restore Jerusalem. He will set it up perfect this time, measuring it with the plumb line. Everything will be exactly as it is supposed to be. So in this vision, Joshua, the Kohen Gadol, the representative of the religious system of God, has at his side the Satan. And this Satan is accusing him. The angel on one side of Joshua essentially defends Joshua from Satan, denounces Satan, restores Joshua with clean articles of clothing and stuff, and says to him, "Joshua, you're forgiven. Your iniquities are cleared out. Don't worry about the nonsense. You have got a task to do." The book of Zechariah ends with this narrative about the fast. They ask, do we keep doing the fast? Zechariah, do we keep doing the fast? Are we supposed to keep doing this? And Zechariah's like, was the performance of the fast an activity that is done so that God might be honored? Think about it. Yes? No. Honor to God would have been for these people to have practiced truth and justice and righteousness, to forgive people and to not be crazy. Truth, justice, peace. This is the methodology God strenuously suggests his people follow. Ultimately, do not have evil in your heart. Everything hinges on that. Thank you for watching. The NQE is out.